Alright guys, welcome to the Mary Boozers channel. Today we're going to do the what you've asked for. Papa is going to paint a patch. We're going to do the whole process, not skip anything. Hope you will enjoy doing this. Maybe something that you will do in the future. But if you like it, if you like the video after the fact, subscribe to the Mary Boozers channel. Watch all our videos. We got a lot of good things of how to do things. We repaint airplanes, we weather airplanes, we fly airplanes. We just hope you're enjoying what we're doing here. So sit back and relax and get a beer and watch old Papa do his thing. All right, let's get to it, guys. Okay, guys, so we've had an interest of how Papa does his leather patches. And what I guess I'll show you is actually what I used to do this. I've kind of got it all here in alignment for you. First thing you're going to have to do is figure out some type of artwork that you want to do. Now I'm taking that you're no artist at all, so we're going to take it that you have no art ability, period. So we're going to say you're going to go out and find you some artwork on the internet. Lori has asked me to do a leather patch of the Rosie the Riveter. So I have went out on the internet and found that particular thing that I want to do. And you also see where I've always put the Mary Boozer RC on the patch, if you can see this. So there's the artwork. And of course I do everything on leather, being that I started that because of the A2 squadron patches. Now, you will have to have a number 2 wood pencil. You will have to have I have a black pen that I will outline the artwork after I trace it onto the leather. Then I had an assortment of brushes, like fine tip. And you will see me as I go through, I will show you the brush that I use as I go through. Then I have many colors. Over here on my right is my colors that I have bought over the years, but I primarily only use about 5 different colors, and then the rest of them are just basic colors I might use once in a blue moon. And you will see me as I go through this and do this artwork, but white, black, tan, which will be the color of any skin, a medium brown. I've got a gray that I outline everything in. And I also have a burgundy, which I use mostly for the women's on their lips. So, another thing is this is acrylic paint. It says acrylic dye. There's all kinds of different brands. There's one. This is another brand. And it says it's for a leather paint. Your medium, your paint will have to coincide with what you're using as far as what you're painting on. This particular paint is, as it says, it's a color, but it's also a dye that will go into the leather. It's also it will take bending and over a time, so it will not crack if it's bent. And then the last process I will do is I will actually coat this with an acrylic finish, which gives it that waterproofing, a little bit more resistance to cracking, that kind of thing. Now I've had to turn off all of my light, my artificial light that I normally use that's over my artwork, because it does not show up on this video that I'm making. So I'm kind of working in the dark. It might look like it's, but to me it's showing up very well for you to see. So we'll keep on going from there. Every once in a while I might have to stop, guys, to do a few things, but you're going to see the whole thing as I do it. Now, like I said, we went on to the internet. I went onto the internet and I printed this on my printer. If you can see, that's just a regular piece of printer paper, right? And it's got some advertisement down here, more stuff here. So what I want to do now is that, of course, I put the Mary Boozer on there, and all I did was stick that on. I use this same graphics here on every one of my artworks that say Mary Boozer, so I don't redo that every time. So I don't have to do that every time. So the next thing I do is I outline this of what the size of the patch would be. So I take my number 2 wood pencil, and I'm always doing this like I'm going to sew it on a jacket, or give it a little bit more room that you could sew it on. So what I do is I come out here and I leave a border, and I go around this like I'm going to leave this border around everything. Kind of get the idea? And it comes out to be its own entity as for what the patch is actually going to be. I'm going to cut the leather out, as you can tell. So we're going to come out with a piece of leather that looks like that. What I do next is I take my trusty little scissors and I cut the excess away from this. Okay, that's that easy. If you're going to do this on an airplane, you probably do this about the same thing, but of course you wouldn't have the Mary Boozer on there. But you're going to cut out. You'd find something that is size-wise, if you're not an artist, or well, if you wanted to use this as like me, what I would do is if I would want to do this, I would use this and actually hand do it on the airplane. I wouldn't have to take it over and draw it out on, sketch it out on the airplane. What I'd do is I'd be looking at it and freehanding it. But let's take, you're not an artist, or we're going to take it as of that you're no artist, okay? So what we do from there is we're going to cut this out to what we sketched out. Easy enough. Kind of like second grade artwork, right? Did this in the second grade, right? Some way or another. I'm hoping that you guys figure out that this isn't that hard. But don't know. You guys are wanting to see it. We're going to show it to you. It's very, very, to me, this is very therapeutic. It's relaxing. You got to have a nice place to do this. And if it works, if you can do this on your desk at home, guys, this is no big thing. Okay, so I'm going to step back. What I want to do is I'm going to go in there and make me another copy of this. And I'll show you why. It's just easier to copy off. Since we're going to copy this onto a piece of leather, I don't want to, I got to go in there and make the copy, and then I'll be back to you. Okay, so we're back to you. So what we've done, we went in there and take this copy that I put the Mary Boozer stuff on, just stuck it on there. So I went and made another copy of one where now it's all together, and then I cut it out again. So I've got my piece of leather here, which is used to be a complete cow, but I'm down to, you can make a lot of these patches out of a whole cowhide. But anyway, so I'm trying to fit it on here where I lose the least amount of leather, which I found a piece here that matches pretty good. So what I do is take my little trusty little pen here, and I put my little dots around here so I know where to cut this out to. Okay, rather simple. Hope you can see, because it's kind of hard for me. I don't have no lighting. The lighting did not work while filming. This is kind of like Papa Dots, right? It's kind of laborious, but Papa Dotting again. Boy, I can't get away from these dots. So now we have the outline of where we want to cut this out to with our pen. We take our trusty little scissors, and I'm sorry guys, you might not be able to see what I'm doing here, but what I'm going to do now is actually just cut out the dots. You need a very sharp scissors on leather, and you just cut out the dots. You don't have to be right on the dots, but and you want to cut back in the blade of the scissors instead of the front of the scissors. Does not seem to work as well unless you do that. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm using my phone to make this video, so I don't have the fancy cameras that Wesley has that he's invested in to do these videos. So I have an iPhone, and you've got an iPhone, so everybody knows what I'm using here to make this video. Hopefully it will be good enough. I hope the lighting is good. If I turn on my artificial light that I normally have, it makes it where you can't see what I'm doing. I hope this is a good video. So let's see here, let's do a little bit more of this. Kind of tedious. It's not for the if you want it instant gratification kind of guy, probably not going to do this. You've got to be kind of meticulous, but it doesn't take that long. Every once in a while I forget which dot I was using. So hopefully that will be what we want over here. So we get rid of that leather and we put this back on here and see if it fits. Is that the way it goes? Nope, that's not it. What did I do here? Well, maybe it goes this way. There we go. Now hopefully when you do this that matches this. Right? All right. I'm hoping the video is good. Okay, so now how do we take this and put it on there? What I've found out over the years is that there is if you try to use the old carbon paper, it doesn't work. So what I found out in the dressmaking world, they make a paper that's got kind of wax on one side and clear on the other, and this is for actually sketching out dress patterns onto cloth. You can find it at any of the places that sell cloth or patterns for dresses. I find it at Walmart. So now what do we do? So we take our number 2 wood pencil that we had earlier, and I don't really like red, but I've ran out of I really prefer the blue. This comes in, if you buy that packet of it, it'll have red, yellow, blue, and some orange, I believe. So we're going to try to use red today. So we put this on here, and we make sure that that is where it's going to be on the patch, right guys? So we take the red and put it down. Kind of simple, right? And then we're going to hold it down like this. And now you know what we're going to do next. We're going to take this and we're going to trace this out very carefully. Not letting it move any while we're doing it. Doesn't matter where you start, just so you know where you end and you get it all. Now hopefully, I gotta hold it, so if my hand's in front of what I'm doing, sorry. Boy, I'm working in the dark since I don't have my light above me. You might be able to see it, but it's kind of difficult for the old guy to see what he's doing here, because he's kind of working in the dark. You can't, I bet you can't tell that, but it's really, for me in here with the only thing I have is about a 100-watt light bulb over my head on the ceiling. That's all there is. So you guys thought Papa was such a great artist. Well, the art really takes over when you start painting this thing, guys, in a way. You know the great artists in our time, they used cheater things too to do their artwork. It might have been, I know of an artist that is a very popular artist today. To get ideas, he goes out and takes pictures. And he will combine several pictures together to make one picture. He'll take photographs, use those photographs to make what he wants, several photographs to make one picture. The ideas are hard to come by, guys. The biggest thing is having the way to put your ideas down. But you're seeing kind of how Papa does this. I'm doing the Mary right now. And it gets to be very, if you've done 100 of these little Mary things and painted around them, it gets to be kind of meticulous. I don't like to do it anymore because it's just like, how many times do you have to do something? I should be able to do this free-handed by now, which I do sometimes. But I'm trying to show you guys how you can, now you can take this same idea here. We're putting on this leather right now, but we could actually do this if we wanted to on your airplane. You could get you some kind of nose art, a woman, and with a little bit this same way, you could use this same thing to trace it off onto your fuselage. So we put our little finger down right there, we pull that out, put our little finger right here, and we put that back in here. Oh, please be there. Well, it is. You can't see it probably, but it's there. I don't like red because it doesn't come out as bright as the blue. So now we've got that traced out. We're going to take that off. And believe it or not, you can't see it. Yeah, I bet you can't see that, but maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. But it's there. So I'm not going to bore you to death, but what I'm going to do is turn the camera off, and I'm going to use my little black pen that I use to dot around that and outline this so I can see it better. I'm going to turn on my artificial light so I can see what I'm doing. But that's what I'm going to do while we're gone. And when we get back, this will be highlighted in black, okay? So I'm not going to bore you to tears with that one. Okay, so back to you. What I said I was going to do is take my little black pen and where you couldn't see the red that was on the leather, I traced it out. And I've got my artificial light on and I'm looking at it and it's hard to see. So I turn up my artificial light and bingo, you can see it. Papa can't see it, but you can. And it makes it very difficult for me. But anyway, you see what happens? So there is how you get the image on the leather. So now what do we do? Usually Papa uses another piece of paper to keep the, another thing I can do is I can spin it on this piece of paper where trying to spin it like on this leather on that, it doesn't spin too well. So I found out what I do is I spin this when I'm painting. So here we go. So what is the first thing you need to do? The basic thing I found out is do the skin tone first, which is what I start out with, and is the tan. All it is tan. They do make some people make a skin tone, but I start out with tan. So we take our little trusty, I've got a wide angle brush. It's not very big, but where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I take that and I open up I don't take it all the way. I just dip it in there like this. And what I do is I'm going to go everywhere there's going to be tan. And I cover up the lines, guys. I'm not being that meticulous with this. Now, I wouldn't want to go over here where the Mary is, but you can tell I'm just, and that's really hard for me. Okay, so it doesn't hurt if you get it up there where the hair is, but you don't want to go too far with it. But if you can tell, I'm not being too meticulous of where this is going. I want to cover it. Okay, so that's where the skin would go to on the face. Keep going here. We're going to go up the arm, covering I can still see the black outline through the paint, guys. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but I'm going a little bit past. I want to not have the black line show up as much after the fact. So that's why I'm covering up the black line, but I can still see it. My little eyeballs can still see the lines. This is a very fast drying paint. It says on it to let it dry before you try to paint on it again, but I found out it's very fast drying. Now, this particular paint that I am using is water-based, so I can clean this paint with, and that's why I have these little water. If you're not here, I don't have these little water cups. I usually use these to mix my paint if I want to come out with a certain color. But since you're here and we don't want to cut away all the time, Papa has his little water thing right there. I clean this off on my little pants. And what we do next, I clean my brush just with water, okay? So no big thing there. What I usually do next is take a real fine line. I'll find it here in a minute. A very fine line. Let's slow it down here a minute. It's hard for me to tell where the camera is. But what I'm going to do is take my light brown and outline where all the skin would be. So you can watch me do that. So you don't want to go too crazy when you don't want to. I usually have a piece of something else to dab this in, because you don't want to over outline these things. But here we go. Not going to be a killer because I can always correct it after the fact. It's the neat thing about after you do this, guys. So what I'm doing is just outlining. It gives it just a pronounced look to your artwork. Normally what I would be doing, because I'm blind as a bat, I would be getting down here a little bit closer to this, but if I do it, you can't see what I'm doing. I don't Well, my son just called, so I don't know where this is going to end up at. So anyway, what we were doing, we were outlining with brown paint. Well, I just had a Coke and decided to come up my nose, but anyway. So hopefully you can see that I've started outlining this. Hopefully nobody will call me again. But who knows? And I know to put it on airplane mode, but didn't do it. And if you make a mistake with this, it's not the greatest era in the world. I've found that I can pretty well fix things. I'm sorry guys if I need to look and see what I'm doing here. So, as you can tell, that we have outlined it. All right. Next step. What do we do next? Next, we're going to go in there and get me a piece of cloth that I kind of. Every once in a while, I have to clean my brush. Either clean it or clean out some of the stuff that I already put in here. So what I'm doing is I'm wiping this off. Okay. I didn't have that thing here to do that with, so I'm sorry about that. Now, what I normally do next is that all skin is not, you have shadowing where the light is coming from. You have dark spaces. So what I'm going to do is add some tone to this using my same brown, use the same and you'll see me use my finger on this one. So where would it be? Depends on where the light is. So I'm going to make it over here. So what I'm going to do, it's going to look like I made a oh boy. But if you'll notice, I'm taking my finger and I'm doing that with it. Don't worry, guys. This is a process. So he has an elbow there, guys. Now, I'm probably a little bit better at this since I've been doing it for a while. Okay, this is where this doing it for a lot of times comes in. I like doing airplanes. Okay. I forgot. Does this woman has some clothes on, so we're gonna paint this down here a different color. So let's say she's okay. So I don't care if this goes over here. I will paint that. My finger gets dirty on the end. Okay. So you guys got the idea there. Let me show you this after I do that. We're going to clean this brush out now. Use my water. Brushes do wear out, guys, if you use them a lot. So as much painting as I do wear out brushes a lot. So anyway, so we washed our brush out, and that's what that looks like so far. Okay. What do we do next? I like to paint red hair, so I think I'm going to show you how to paint a red-headed woman. So what do you do, or how do you paint red? You won't believe it. Okay, so we take another brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to make her a redhead, okay? So what we start out with first is orange. We're going to paint her hair solid orange. I mean, bright orange. Make her a redhead. So anyway, that being her bandana or whatever it's called to keep her hair up. So that don't paint. Okay, so we did the orange. We clean our brush. You can clean the same in the same water till it gets really nasty. What happens to me most is the paint goes down in the inside of the brush and you can't get it out, and then it starts spreading out the each fiber, and then it doesn't get to, that's where your brushes go bad. Okay, so well, we got that done. What we're going to do next, I'm going to finish the red hair. Well, now to do that, what I do is I use the light brown again. So we take the light brown, and we kind of figure out which way this woman's hair is flowing, which, you know, I'm not a very big guy that knows about how, so we'll just shoot from the hip on this one, guys. So one of the things you don't want to do is really smear a lot of brown paint on this, but this is a light brown paint, and we come in here and we're going to do this. Yeah, okay, so hopefully we got looked like that. Wasn't too difficult, was it? An artwork is something that is in progress at all times, guys. I found out a long time ago that it's not finished until it's finished. So you don't want to go, oh well, this is just not working for me, let's put it down. That's what I'm saying. We continue to work it until we think that it's where it needs to be. And the good thing about paint is that you can normally fix something that you've messed up. So what are we going to do next? Now, this is a little drastic. This highlighting that I did here, you know, it's kind of stands out. I don't really like it that way. You know, it's not the way skin looks, right, guys? So what do you do to make it with the tone, but you don't want it to stand out that dramatic. We take the tan again. Whether I'm still using this same brush that I did the brown with. I cleaned it up because it had so much paint in it. Keep your brushes clean, guys. So anyway, I'm going to take the tan with the same brush I was using. Where can I see this thing? Right there. Okay, can you see it? Okay. So I lightly put back tan in it. Don't want too much of it. You notice I go over there and clean the brush. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go back over where I put the highlight in. And guess what happens? It's kind of like magic. It's there, but it's not as pronounced as it was, guys. The tone, and I'll work this several times, but I know you probably can't see what I'm doing until the finished thing. But what I'm doing is I'm just actually going back over where I put all that dark, and I'm lightening it up. It's kind of like mixing it in a way. Yeah. Remember that work in progress, guys. And like I said, I wasn't the greatest artist in the world when I started off, so don't expect to do it as fast as I'm possibly doing it, or as knowledgeable as I'm doing it. It took time for me to learn how to do this, guys. All right, so I'm going to show you this when I get through with it up closer to the camera. See, their neck would have been darker. And the face is a completely different thing that I would be working on later. I'll be working on the face. It's different than this, guys. Okay, that's pretty much close enough as we speak right at the present moment. If you notice, I use my fingers a whole lot. Okay, so you remember what it looked like. Now look and see what it looks like. See how it's kind of not as bright. It was, I can't see it as well, but you can see how dark it is compared to right here. But it gives them that skin. Your skin has different tones, guys. It's not all just tan. You have, if you look at your skin, it's got red in it. You can see the kind of red. I only did that with just two colors, okay? I got kind of, you didn't have to put red in it to make it look red. So anyway, we'll work on that a little bit more. What we're going to do now is we're going to work on the eyes. The hardest thing for me is the face and getting the eyes correct. Eyes are hard. Now, I guess I started out with the hardest thing to paint is a face and all that stuff, guys, but that's kind of what I just was painting at the time. If you paint one of the squadron patches, you're not there's nowhere close to the mixing of the skin tones and all that. If you're painting a character on a squadron patch, you just use that tan paint and you don't have to worry about skin tone and all that because it's just one color. And all the colors on that patch are normally one color, and you're going, that's all the squadron patch is off. It's really easy. It's anywhere close to this. So, just so you know, if I would tell you how to start something, it'd probably be more the squadron patches than faces. All right, so what do we do next? We're going to take our little black paint. with our real fine brush, which is this one. Okay, real fine brush. The same brush that we outlined the brown on this, we outlined the skin with. And we're going to try to do, always keep this close. So we're going to try to do the eyes, or the outline of the eyes. Don't want to get too much paint on this brush. I don't know if you can see me cleaning it over here. But all I want is a fine layer on this thing. So here we go. I outlined it in black. And I'm sorry I have to get down here this close. Our eyes are probably the hardest thing to do, guys. They're not the easiest things in the world. Okay, so we outlined her eyes, and we probably will come back a lot more with time on the eyes. Okay. Eyes are what I call a work of art all the time. I will usually outline the lips in the black at first. All right, so if she's redheaded, she could have green eyes, right? She could have green eyes, she could have brown eyes. She could have, a redhead can do a lot of things. She can, my dad always, the two things that my dad, when I was 16 years old, one of the many things he told me is never date a redhead. If you ever date a redhead, you'll know what he meant. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, what are we going to do? Make her green eyes? Let's make her green eyes. Mama Boozer is here now. And she is going to come in here and say hello while we're doing this video. So here goes this is a green, kind of a blue-green. Might be, I don't know, I'm just shooting from the hip on this one, guys. So her eye would be here in the corner. Be right here in this corner. All right, so we got our green eyes. We clean our brush. We put the green away. So she really got green eyes, guys. So the next thing we'll do is we'll take out our white. Again, remember this is always a work in progress. And we're going to fill in the white, hopefully. Okay. So, now, normally, eyes have a little dot.
Hello?
Hi, dear. I'm doing a video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. All right. So, not quite yet, but they're getting there. So I'm gonna, Mama Boozer's here at the present moment. I'm gonna say hi to her. I'm gonna go away for a minute, and I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Old Papa lives in a household. Might as well have 3 kids in it. I got 2 dogs, which is 2 kids, and then I have a wife that shows up, and it's around 5 o'clock. So anyway, okay. So we did her eyes. So we gave her some. We call that sexy eyes. Pretty nice, huh? Okay. So most women that I found out have kind of a reddish tone or cheeks around here. So we want to give her some reddish tone. We're going to do the lips now. And at the same time, we're going to, remember I told you that we used if I can find it. Sometimes, oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to paint the lips on now. Lips are not easy either. So we get a little paint here. Remember, guys, you wanted to see this. So, I'm sorry, I got to get down again. We're going to give her a smile, guys. And back in the 40s, they liked really red lips. So anyway, we did the lips there. That wasn't hard, was it? So now we got the red paint in our brush. We take the tan. We're going to get most of the red paint out of there because we don't want a lot of it in there. We're going to mix it with this tan. We hope this works. And we're going to give her cheekbones. All right, so see how that looks. Now we'll tone that down here in just a moment. But it makes her look a lot better, right? Okay. Oh, looking pretty good, guys. She's gonna be a sex symbol riveter. My kind of riveter. All right, so we pretty well got her done. I mean, she's getting there, guys. Now, what I think I'd like to do is actually give her some more eyebrows, larger than she has. So we're going to clean our brush here. We're going to give her a little bit more eyebrows than what she has. See how that comes out? Remember, it's always in progress here. So we're gonna do, we're gonna start way over here, and we're gonna make that a little bit more pronounced in here. See how that looks. Ooh, like that. Okay. Man, she's starting to look pretty good, isn't she? Shadow that jawbone, just that's just a shadow off that jawbone, see? And I'm taking some of this brown and giving her a little highlight over her nose. Her nose comes down. All right. All right, I'm liking it. Okay, all right. So yeah, she's looking pretty good, guys. Look at that. You can do this. All right, so that we got that done, man. She's almost finished. All right, so what do we do next? The only thing like I say, you're never finished until you're finished. You keep looking at your artwork and saying, what do you do next? Now, since she's red-headed, I'm gonna make a decision. If you noticed, all my Papa Boozer girls have black bathing suits. So this is an artist way to do it. This is going to be black with white polka dots. This bandana or whatever you call it in her hair, because Papa is known for his black bathing suit. So this is going to be black, and of course I got to put her pearl necklace on, because that's another Papa trait that I give all my Papa girls, is a pearl earrings, a necklace. So anyway, here we go. We're gonna paint this black. If I can find black, we will do it. Everybody still along with me? Anybody fell asleep yet? Remember, guys, you asked for it. So very easily we go, and we're going to do the outline of this thing. Now, I don't care what you're using, guys. This could be anything that you're painting on. It would be the same. Okay? So, what I tell you, you don't have to paint on leather. Paint this on anything. Papa's always said he was going to try to do canvas art. And it's not like this at all, guys. So, the canvas thing is a little bit more. All right, so we got her whatever you call that thing on her. Clean her brush again. We're going to look back at it and say, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Cleaning our brush. We're not letting you skip any process, guys. This is exactly how I do it, how long it takes to do it. Oh, gosh. Damn it. It says low battery, guys. I don't know where we're at. Okay, sorry guys. I looked up and my phone went out of power. So, kind of panicked there. So I had to go recharge my phone. And we're back. So, when we went away, I was painting this scarf here on top, and decided I was going to, since it had polka dots, so we put polka dots on it. I've also decided that we're going to also paint some kind of clothes on her. So we'll do that now. Always remember, guys, it's always a work in progress. You never know where you're going to be, so I'm going to just kind of freehand this one. Again, Papa always paints in black. Okay, so okay, she has a little black there. Clean the brush. I think what I'm going to do is outline her face. We're going to try this. Just give it a little bit of distinction around the face area. Remember, guys, it's always in progress until you say that's enough. Then I'm going to bend down here and look. Pretty good. Pretty good. Just something to highlight it a little bit. Okay, so not bad. Well, and it looks like you can see what we're doing, so that's the good part. I'm going to keep doing this, guys, because you want to show you the whole thing. I understand if people say, "Oh gosh, that's wonderful," but anyway, here we go with the dots. Kind of a random thing on this thing up here. A little dot there. Well, you missed some. It went off because I had a phone call. I didn't put it in airplane mode. This has been the hardest video I've ever tried to make in my life. But good news, guys. You missed all the painting of the boozer thing here, but you didn't miss a lot. So, put it on airplane mode. We're going to finish this time. Or we're going to try, unless a tornado comes. And I've had a hard time trying to finish this video because of every time I do something, somebody either comes in the door, the dogs bark, the wife comes home, something. So this time, hopefully, we're going to do it all without a stop. Famous last words, right? Anyway, thinking about? Oh yeah, we haven't done the Papa Dots necklace yet. Can't forget the necklace. Sorry about that if I'm bending over to get water to clean the brush. So let's do Papa's thing. Make it change brushes if I can find it. I'm gonna have to have the gray in a minute. Let me take the white out here. Load up the white. Sorry guys, here I go again. I'll go down. I just messed up. There's our necklace. Since I have the white sometimes wants to fade out. Or bleed through, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So, what we're going to do, we're on the home stretch, guys, and I might cut this out because it's all I'm going to be doing is light, and the longer this is, but I might shorten this a little bit. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll start out with the kind of the lining, and I'm going to cut to the chase so you don't have to watch all of this. But now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put the gray on the border it in gray. You've seen a lot of these. So here we go with this. So I've kind of got a wide brush. See that? All right, the wider brush. And what I do, I'm going to have to bend down here, is I'm going to very meticulously outline this in gray. And I'll also come over here and I'll do the letters with this brush. What I will do with this brush is do the lot of the larger areas, and then I'll come back with a small brush to do the inside work. What I'm going to do is cut this off right now so you don't have to watch this boring thing. When I come back, I'll have the gray, but the inside of all the letters will not be done. I'll bring you back to that. Okay, we're back. So, with the large brush, somewhere here, larger, wider brush, I have done most of the gray around the script. As you can tell, there's some that's not filled in. Now, like up here in the corner, of course around there, there's some stuff right in the corner. So what I need to do is a finer brush. So what I do is I change from that wide brush, because I can put a lot more medium on with this than a fine brush. So now what I will do is I'll take the smaller tip brush and I will finish out the finer areas that I need to fill in. And I think for time wise and to not bore you to tears, another thing is that I have my light on now, and I don't know how well you can see it, but see how well you can see it? So you can see how much light I use to see by. But you can also see where you can't see what I'm doing as well as if I leave it on. Anyway, we'll be back to you when we have all the gray finished in, and I'll show you how that looks. All right, guys, we're back. Papa has filled in all the gray now, and we've got a finished product. Pretty cool, huh? Now, everybody's saying, hopefully, man, I can do this. So, that's the whole process of what we do as far as making a patch. Now, the last thing I always do is sign my artwork. You ever see one? I put, like all artists do, I put my little touch on it down here and sign it. Now, the only other thing I'm going to warn you about, guys, is when you actually do copy artwork, make sure that it is not copyrighted. What is copywriting? Disney type stuff. I don't think they really care about you reproducing it, one, but if you were to reproduce like Disney work for profit, would probably be a no-no. So that's my warning to you about copywriting. So hopefully what we've done here today, guys, is something you'd be interested in doing in the future. And we will, hopefully you will enjoy doing something like this. I'm putting our earring on, the white pearl earring. Always look to see before I'm finished what I want to add to it. But that's it, guys. You've seen me do everything to make a patch. And thanks for coming along for the ride. I thought I was through. But anyway, remember, what I did was go in here and I made her eyes a little bit larger because I like doe eyes, bigger eyes. I kind of knocked down the rouge or her cheekbones a little bit, didn't make them as red. Made her lips a little bit larger. It's just fine touching, final. The thing that I like to do the most is just kind of look at it and put the final touches on it. But I did forget about the last thing we do on leather to keep it from cracking and or make it a little bit more weatherproof. What we have is acrylic finish. This is a matte finish. They do make a bright finish, but this is a matte, so it'll come out kind of dull looking. It'll look like this here. Kind of simple. I use a wide brush. Okay. All it is, and I dip it down in here. And you do this when it's finished. And you just, you're kind of like a acrylic finish over the top of it to seal it. You want to make sure your the paint is dried and you have everything you want done on the thing. But that's what it's about. It's to seal it and to make it not crack, because this leather, if you were selling it for an A2 jacket, then it's going to be bent a lot. I gotta turn on the light, guys, so I can see what's going on. And yeah, I can see it. You probably can't. I don't want a big glob somewhere is what I'm doing. Make sure I get all the way to the edges. Dries very quickly. Anyway, that was the last process of the patch, is to seal it. So that is the end of the video. Again, I hope this is something you would be interested in doing. And good luck on your project. Oh yeah, guys, we got to end with that advertisement. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe to the Mary Boozers RC channel. And go in there, and this artwork is available on Teesprings. Teespring Springs. It's a t-shirt where we sell t-shirts. If you're liking what we do, and then make sure you subscribe. We need all those screws. We're trying to get up to where we can do some more stuff for you, and the only way we do that is the more subscribers we have, the better we can do it. So, all right, guys, thanks.